Hello, God bless. This is Daniel Maximov, and today's vlog is going to be about my take on immigration, a controversial topic that hasn't been, it never gets old, it never gets tired down, and now more than ever has become the primary concern in Western United States, and not just the United States, but in countries in where within actually, on the contrary, within Western civilization. In reference to that, and I'm talking about Colombia and Spain, and at some point Canada. So let's dip into it. So as you guys have seen recently, with the border and the talk of Democrats with their stupid open border policies and ridiculous mumbo jumbo crap about immigrants that we need them to pay for our pensions. How noble. That scaring people into thinking that America is anti-immigrant, which is clearly not, because if it was anti, we wouldn't have gotten the most diverse country in the world. I mean, let's be realistic. The United States is extremely diverse. So, and not to mention, immigrants are coming here at ground zero and rise up to become millionaires and, high-class workers. So I don't see, that whole democratic narrative is just complete false and pretty stupid if you really analyze it carefully. But they're not the only one at fault here. Republicans are in the same cahoots with the whole border thing, which I think I made a video about. Like, I don't think the border is gonna do much of anything, if not now more than ever, considering that I feel like what I'm seeing is that it's far too late to make a border, and because it's not just external, but it's also internal migration. So they're causing politics to move in a scary direction. So I don't believe the border is going to do much of anything and they haven't even addressed the fact that what comes within the border, the $1 billion deal, which is trafficking, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, any kind of trafficking, you name it. The people who are guarding the border, they need their jobs. So in the day and age where people come out with inventing stuff to sidestep the border, people have, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's always people inventing ways around stuff. So the border is not going to be any different. Even if these people learn from Israel or Poland or Hungarian or whatever, I still don't see that happening with the United States, due to the fact that the United States has been doing this for a very, 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 very long time. I don't think a border is going to do anything for them. It's not like the Trojan episode. The Trojans had already done so, and then the only way that they were compromised was by sending a Trojan horse gift, into where the natives lived, and then they were conquered and destroyed. How original. So that's where political correctness is actually the Trojan horse. So I just don't see the border as an alternative solution to anything. And in truth, if the Republicans would have had been keen on this 4 years ago, not now. I don't know. It's not the border. That's also that I have a mixed reception with. This effort that I'm seeing now by Republicans should have been awakened 4 years ago. So I don't know what they're trying to conserve. So that's another can of worms. Like, what are they trying to conserve, really? The American culture, the traditionalist way of thinking. I'm confused with that, and I'm also confused as to why would you let something like this happen and take action now when it's clearly too late. Clearly too late. I'm just not into that. And of course, now in the 21st century, where everything's identity politics and somehow and whatnot, immigration has become like sort of like a large scale reparation. Like I've seen people saying that this is a land of immigrants, and I'm like, are you aware that Western civilization exists to stop communism and extremism from expanding until it becomes total? Like are you aware of that? Like that's just where assimilation comes in. Assimilation is needed in order for people to assimilate to the culture, embrace the personal freedoms that was given to them, that wasn't present in their own foreign country, and help out the United States to the best that they can to preserve all of the personal freedoms, all the cultural beliefs, everything that makes the United States and so on a perfect place to live. In comparison to war zones, in comparison to places where people are starving and have bombs explode in their faces and have babies growing up blind, coming out blind and with deforms. That's why Western civilization exists. I guess you can say it's a haven of all havens. Even though it was founded by Freemasons, so it is a Christian nation founded by Freemasons. So there's that, and of course, since it's founded by Freemasons, I guess you guys can only imagine that these people eventually will want what they always wanted, really, and a new world order. And as far as I can see, a new world order means unity of everyone sitting at the same table. It kind of reminds me of the Bible verse about sitting at the table of demons and sitting at the table of angels, and so wouldn't they call you mad? So I guess they always wanted to do that, and I guess now they can do it with immigration as a arsenal, pretty much. So I don't buy the border doing nothing. Like, I guess it's a temporary bandage solution to keep people calm, but at the large scale, I don't feel like it's gonna do anything. I feel like immigration is the primary problem in the United States that needs to be addressed, because now the scale of the problem has tipped the scales. Actually, has become out of control. But I don't feel like they're targeting it as they should. And I don't think they're going to target as they should, because they're illegal voting going in places like around California, where immigrants are illegally voting, which is why blue states, the Democrats have been getting a lot of power. At the end of the day, it comes down to votes, and it requires consent of the people. The government dictating root laws, regulations, you name it, requires the consent of the people. So even if you don't vote, really, it doesn't really change it doesn't change the fact that there's someone voting for you, and votes do have power because it is considered consent. So there's that, and boy, we're consenting to a lot of abnormal things. And at the end of the day, I'm just when it comes to immigration, I guess it's not being addressed properly, about illegal and illegal voting. Illegal and legal immigrants, those who do it the rightfully way, and those who come in, use our resources, don't assimilate, don't treat the United States like their homeland, because they don't even consider themselves Americans. So, and then there's immigrants who do assimilate, who do preserve, and who want to live the American dream, and work hard by they work like 5-4 jobs. They don't even see their kids half of the time, so the kids grow resentful of that. And so that also needs to be addressed, because there's you have to admit there's immigrants who don't have it easy. In fact, nobody who comes within the United States ever have it easy. Nobody has it easy. So that needs to be addressed properly. It can, at the end of the day, it's a learning experience, really. In a native, coming from your native soil to this is a learning experience. So you need to, so who are these migrants falling in the hands of? People who are helping them assimilate, or people who are not. So that needs to be addressed. And but I don't feel like a border wall is gonna do much. And emptying out populations and relocating them elsewhere is not also gonna solve anything, because those problems, are not gonna go away. Again, the masters, deep state, they want a new world order. And there's Western civilization, which is the safe zone, and then there's the other part of the world, the third world, which is a large don't-go zone that and they want to unite them both. And what's keeping them from conquering it all? It's nationalism. So the inner fire that you want to preserve personal freedoms, you don't want them to give them away. You want to preserve them. You are an American, envied by a lot of people, because you can wake up in the morning, drink coffee, take a shower, a hot shower, which not many people have. Go to school, get your education, come back home, spend lunch, go and spend your money, which is the economy. I'm seeing a lot of socialism, departments popping up in the United States. Millennials, 75%, wanting socialism, because they come from helicopter parenting, I guess. Because let's be realistic, socialism is an authoritarian parent. You don't get to do whatever you want. You're under strict supervision, and everything you have is taken from you. And just like your allowance of $20, it shrinks down to just $1.50. So it comes down to personal freedoms, beliefs. Wear what you want, do what you want. All of that is at stake. And it all comes down to the power of the people. And it's the people who have the power, but you need to put it to good use. Like, at the end of the day, we are the United States. So, hence, united. So, are we united for the good cause? Are we supporting the right thing? Like, I guess these are the questions, when it comes to immigration, one needs to ask. Like, is it good to support something illegal or not? Even though, from a doctoral perspective, I know some illegal immigrants who mean well, and who actually do get offended when this argument is brought up in a negative way. Even though they understand they do understand the argument, but their emotional sides take over, because you don't just, they've seen the difficulties that comes with, crossing a border or coming illegally and, not having any paperwork, anything that, the important documentations, because in the United States, you are where you are by documentation. So, and the struggles that come with it from not having them, and the fear of being returned from once they came, sometimes you need to address this properly. Cannot just jump in a bandwagon and just accuse them all of, taking your resources and what's not, because there are jobs out there for sure. Some of them require an associate's degree, and I'm fully aware that automation has stripped all the almost all the common jobs, like McDonald's, like working at a Walgreens, or et cetera, the customer service jobs and the cleaning jobs, and I've seen automation, but there are jobs out there, so that's not a decent argument to be made. And there's and I feel like on the topic of immigration, it was divisive in terms that we have those who have assimilated, grown into the culture, made something of themselves, versus those who are coming in, been long, haven't really gotten any interest in learning the language, assimilating to the culture, and just living like they would over where they came from, but in the United States. So, and more parts of the United States into what their homelands used to be. So there's that internal conflict going on. So I hope that this is helps someone out there, because this is my honest take on immigration. I'm just not for the border as I used to anymore, because it's just that I don't feel like it serves any purpose, and it's just denying the inevitable, to be really honest. And when it comes to immigration being the number one problem in the United States, it makes me question America Comes First in terms of what's being done about it, like what's genuinely being done about it. Because we have seen in the previous elections that it wasn't a red wave that occurred, but a puddle of both Republicans and Democrats. So it was a puddle. So when does America Comes First, when there's a puddle like that? And I can understand about the illegal voting, and understand about what they're trying to preserve, really, even though they haven't really made clear. But it comes down to what's being done about it, because I haven't yet to see anything being done, really, or being addressed properly as it should be. So this is my take on the immigration wave. And well, I'll see you guys very soon. God bless.